What's up, guys? Today's podcast is about utilizing the power of silence. Stay tuned.
Introverted Intellect, helping you overcome shyness, social anxiety, depression, and utilizing the power of being an introvert.
Welcome to
Introverted Intellect, a podcast for introverts.
What's going on, guys? It's your Thursday tip from your very favorite introvert, Johnny Raxa. Now, as you guys may know, I do Thursday tips for a variety of things, actually, and there are a variety of things that help you learn to be a better communicator and connector and speech maker. And this is probably one of the first times I've done something for a speech, for doing speeches, for a tip for speeches, whatever. But this also can apply to things like conversations, for instance. I think it's really important, and that is utilizing the power of silence, aka the power pause. This comes from a book called Stand Like Lincoln, Speak Like Churchill, and something else. I'm sorry, guys. I don't even have the book with me. I'm so not prepared for this. Anyways, I did write a blog post on this, and I think it's very important that you guys know how to do public speaking. Yes, it does help you so much in so many ways. Your confidence, your growth as a person, and your ability to lead. And that is the goal of the Introverted Intellect, to grow beyond your standards. Now, what I wrote here is that it's difficult for short people to gain an audience. I don't command an audience when I walk up on the stage, folks. My height is 5'3". 5'3" is pretty short. I'm a short fry. I'm a short guy, right? And it is really difficult for me to just command the audience right away, just like that. But then throughout history, there's been people who actually have been able to gain the attention of people. For instance, Napoleon never allowed the height to get away from commanding his troops. Never allowed his height to be a factor of commanding his troops. Napoleon, apparently, it was a myth that he was short. So I don't know if that's entirely true, but apparently in the book it's saying he was, short guy, whatever. But regardless, he used the power pause. And somebody else named Elizabeth Cady Stanton, a pioneer in women's rights. She was a short lady too, or maybe she wasn't short, but she was a woman back in the day. And that, how it was back in the day for women. They utilized the power of silence. And you guys know it's strategic silence though. So what you do, this is what I do a lot actually in my speeches at Toastmasters. Once again, if you don't know, Toastmasters is a public speaking club that helps you practice public speaking in leadership. Okay, so before I go to speech, I walk up to the stage and I look around and I take a pause. And when I stand and stare at the people, it just makes them feel like, oh, he's about to say something profound, amazing, exciting, extravagant, so awesome. And then you talk, and they're anticipating something. It's just that he builds anticipation. It is awkward because you don't want to, the silence is just, it kills you sometimes. So it's awkward in a lot of ways. But the power of silence actually does a lot for people, and people don't quite realize it. Just think of the next time somebody goes out to speak, and you notice that they don't speak right away. They go, "When I was a kid," and then they go on to a story. Like you just feel that intensity as you're quiet, and I think people don't often utilize it because they will go I've heard a lot of speeches where people often go, as the people are still clapping, they're like, "Oh, so how you guys doing today?" And then just go into it and get all hype. But when you're presenting something, more intense, I feel and something more really informative, I think that being able to capture your audience through silence is very underutilized, especially if you're Like Napoleon needed to command his audience. He wasn't out to crack jokes. Elizabeth wasn't trying to. Was that her name? Yeah, Elizabeth wasn't trying to crack jokes about women's rights. She wanted to sway and persuade these people. So that sense of that silence really creates a charisma that you often wouldn't expect, but it does happen, right? I think that the longest I've gone was like 5 seconds, really, because I can't stand for that long. But it feels like 10 minutes. You're up there on stage, and you're like, you want to say something right away because the silence is killing you. All eyes are on you. You're expected to talk, but instead you're standing there. And the book's saying like you grow bigger when you're in silence. So think about that next time you're up for a speech or you're doing public speaking, and utilize it. See how it works out for you. Try it out. I think it can work for anybody, really. Only use this, especially though, if you're making like intense speeches. If you're making like a comedic speech, you just imagine a comic going out there and being just like staying silent, unless it's like for comedic effect somehow. Another thing too, I just wanted to mention as well is that using your ahs and ums, like those filler words, like like I do a lot on the podcast. I'd be like, in transition. It's better to, instead of doing that, to pause instead. Instead of using those filler words of ahs and ums and you knows, instead of doing all of that, just allow yourself to be silent. Allow yourself to take advantage of the fact that the silence is what gives more authority than just your ahs and ums. It just takes away the power of the message. The ahs and ums. Just think of your the biggest leader, I don't know, president, if he kept saying it just makes him seem unsure of himself. Rather, when you see like big time leaders, CEOs, they try their best to keep from saying all those ahs and ums. They're more direct because they know what they're talking about and they want to portray that authority. Okay. With that said, I am going to let you guys go once again. This is Johnny Raksa, Introverted Intellect, with your Thursday tip of the week. And I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. And once again, please subscribe and rate the podcast. And stay tuned for more from your fellow neighborhood awkward introvert, Johnny Raksa. Peace.
We are what you make it.